Put this in perspective for us, Gene. How high are the stakes for this meeting?
Well, I think first thing I want to say is I think if you were talking about China or the Fed, you could say this is do we pause, to pause or not to pause moment. And what I want to stress is that people keep saying, is there going to be a deal? The issue here is not whether there's going to be some massive deal. The issue is whether there's going to be a pause in the hostilities. So I think what we're really looking for today, tomorrow is, would there be some type of an agreement, temporary, where perhaps they buy a certain amount of soybeans or LNG, make a few concessions that lead to some type of negotiation? And then what the United States would give is that we would keep the tariffs on the we would keep the tariffs at 10% as opposed to them going up to 25%. Now, I think for President for President Trump, he could say, well, I still have the sword over their head, but I'm taking a pause because they bought some soybeans, et cetera. I think, it's good to negotiate from strength, but he often negotiates more from bluster and without strategy, and I think it gets him in trouble. So right now, for example, they've had really no strategy on how to protect American agriculture, and you're seeing bankruptcies among farmers doubling, you're seeing soybean prices falling, exports dropping off a cliff. So I think he has a lot of incentive to try to get some type of pause, not major deal, but a pause that shows that he's going to try to let negotiations work. Whether that will happen or not, I cannot tell you, because every hour there is a signal that goes in the opposite direction.
Gene, do you get it? I mean, listen, I know you're obvious. I would assume you're not really speaking to anybody in this administration. Do you hear anything from the Chinese at all, amongst, the people you may have known in terms of how they view this?
Oh, no, I'm not talking with the Chinese. What I hear from the administration a bit is that it's very hard for them to, what you hear too, that they're very divided between those who want to try to work out some type of agreement. I think those who want to try to work out some type of agreement are playing to Trump on the economy and the market. They're saying, Mr. President, if you have the combination of the withdrawal of the diminishment of economic stimulus from at the end of this year, and you have these trade issues, and you have the Fed going up, and you've got housing prices starting to decline, some global growth starting to fall, you're taking a very big risk. So I think they're trying to play to his fear that as he comes into 2019 with the Democratic Congress, he could face a declining economy. And the other side is saying, be tough. This is where you have them. That's why I think a pause is the opportunity. It doesn't mean you have a major deal and you've taken the pressure off. You just say, we're not going to go to 25% for a while. They make an agreement to do something symbolic, buy some soybeans, so he gets something to announce. I think that would make sense for him politically, but again, I think there's so much happening with the GM layoffs. You've got Lighthizer, their USTR, threatening going to 40% auto tariffs today. So the question is this a lot of bluster to kind of make it easier to get some more concessions for agreement? But there's not going to be a big deal. This is only an issue of whether there's a temporary pause that allows them to negotiate and where he can claim some temporary wins.